welcome to Kwararafa Television News at Noon. Well, let me start by congratulating all youths in the global community marking International Youth Day. Joachim Dengana Peters is my name. We begin with the headlines. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has called on Nigerians to preserve the unity of the country despite differences. Police summoned Oshun senator over killing comment, and scores of people have died after a boat sank in Zimbabwe. The news in full. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has called on Nigerians to preserve the unity of their country despite their differences, saying dialogue remains essential to sustaining Nigeria as a united nation. Tinubu, represented by the Deputy President of the Senate, Barau Jibril, stated this at the International Conference on Security and National Unity, organized by Jamatul Izalatil Bida wa Ikamatul Sunnah in collaboration with the Muslim World League. The president said the government was committed to addressing Nigeria's security challenges and promoting peace globally through collaboration with other nations. Tinubu said the conference was timely given the multiple security challenges confronting the world, adding that its deliberations would contribute to efforts to achieve sustainable regional, continental, and global peace. He also commended the Muslim World League for partnering Djibouti and choosing Nigeria as the first country to host the conference. Osun State Police Command has summoned the lawmaker representing Osun East and the Senate, Senator Francis Fadausi, over a threat he reportedly issued against members of the Accord Party ahead of the Saturday's governorship poll in the state. The spokesperson for the command, Abiodun Ojelabi, confirmed that the lawmaker has been summoned by the Commissioner of Police in charge of the election, Samuel Etaifo. Report says that the lawmaker and the candidate of the All Progressive Congress for Ifelodun, Boripe, Odo-18 Federal Constituency in the 2027 general elections, Francis Eniade, came under fire for issuing a threat against the Accord Party members ahead of the next Saturday's governorship poll. In a video that circulated on the social media, Fadausin, who spoke in Yoruba language, said that any Accord members cited in Elisha or Osun State before Saturday, when the election will hold, will be killed. Sources at the scene where Fadausi made the controversial speech said that the lawmaker spoke at the palace of Owa Obokun of Ijesa land in Elisha during a protest organized against an alleged killing of 3 members of the All Progressive Congress in Elisha on Tuesday. Kwara State Governor Abdul Rahman Abdulrazak has met with senior Nigerian Army commanders over the deployment of a new battalion to Mu Arun, the headquarters of Irebodun local government area of the state. Abdulrazak shared the update on his official Facebook, saying he received the troops alongside the general officer commanding 9th Division of the Nigeria Army and Joint Task Force Operation Savannah Shield, Major General Yakubu Yahya, and the Commander 22 Armored Brigade Ilorin, Brigadier General Nicholas Rume. The governor said the new deployment will strengthen security operations in the state, particularly as the government and security agencies intensify efforts to tackle banditry, kidnapping, and other security threats. A Plateau State High Court sitting in Jos has ruled that state high courts have jurisdiction to try persons accused of terrorism and terrorism-related offenses under the Terrorism Act 2022. Justice Gedelia Fuomyong gave the ruling when determining a preliminary objection to the jurisdiction of the court filed by 4 suspects arrested by the Department of State Services over their alleged involvement in the Easter 2026 attack on the Angwan Rokuba community, which left more than 30 people dead. The Plateau State government had filed charges against 5 suspects over the killings. The suspects were arrested by the DSS between April 3rd and April 10th, 2026, and charged with offenses including criminal conspiracy and terrorism, among other related offenses. The accused persons is Umar Ibrahim, Awalu Abubakar, also known as Awalu Dogo, Musa Abubakar Ibrahim, also known as Yaro Yaro, and another suspect were alleged to have conspired to carry out the attack. The National Association of Nigerian Students Turkish Zone has appealed to the Senate to extend the Nigeria Education Loan Fund to eligible Nigerians studying in accredited institutions abroad. The association made a call during an engagement with the Vice Chairman of the Senate's Committee on Diaspora and Non-Governmental Organizations, Anthony Siako Yaro. In a statement, NAN's President Turkish Zone, Daniel Okmala, said the delegation sought greater government's attention to the welfare and education financing challenges confronting Nigerian students in the diaspora. According to Okbala, the increasing number of Nigerians studying overseas requires a corresponding review of government policies on education financing. The association said students studying abroad were facing rising financial pressures due to tuition, accommodation costs, and exchange rate fluctuations. Here on to Kwararafa News, broadcasting live from Jalingo, the Taraba State capital. We'll be back in a distant time. Stay with us. Mission system hacking room. You're welcome back. Remember, you can get us on Free TV, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and more. The news continues. At least 15 people have died after a boat carrying dozens of people sank on Lake Kariba in Zimbabwe, with rescue operations continuing, officials have said. Police said 90 passengers and 5 in the crew were on board the vessel when it capsized, but it may have been overloaded, with other reports pointing to a higher number based on the registered ticket sales. The vessel was hit by a strong wave and overturned, police added. Footage is shared online appears to show the hull floating in the water. Lake Kariba, which straddles the border with Zambia, is one of the world's largest man-made reservoirs, supporting transport and fishing, providing vital hydroelectric power to both countries. The Zimbabwe Civil Protection Unit (CPU) said that registered ticket sales showed 114 adults were on the vessel. There could also have been an unknown number of children below ticketing age, it added. South African police have launched an investigation after 14 suspected illegal miners died when a mine dump site collapsed on them on Monday night. The site was being legally operated by a mining company, and it is unclear how the miners, most of whom are believed to be from neighboring Lesotho, gained access. Regional Police Chief Lieutenant General Arthur Adams, who visited the scene morning, said that the dump site was being used to mine platinum and other metals by a local company. Adams said that 3 of the injured miners have since been released from hospital and have been detained by police. President Donald Trump has confirmed that he secretly swapped plane as he left a NATO summit in Turkey last month due to a possible threat. The revelation comes after reports that Trump boarded Air Force One on 8th July in view of television cameras before hiding in a catering truck to be transported to a military aircraft. The last-minute switch has raised questions about whether those left on the Deco plane were in danger, but Trump said on Tuesday the jet he boarded instead could have been at greater risk because that would be the plane he thinks that they would have been more likely to go for. Officials told reporters, U.S. partners, and CBS News that the U.S. had detected a credible Iranian threat to fire a missile at the plane. The New York Times reported that U.S. intelligence had information of a person near the NATO summit who had been seen with a shoulder-fire missile. Journalists and some White House staff on board did not know the U.S. president had been smuggled out as part of an elaborate ruse in response to a possible Iranian threat. The United States says it has gone 15 consecutive months without allowing any illegal migrants into the country and has deported more than 3 million foreigners since President Donald Trump returned to office. The administration made the claims in a fact sheet cited on the White House website outlining measures it claims were taken to restore the country's immigration system. He said that in his first week back in office, Trump signed an executive order declaring a crisis at the southern border and taking immediate action to end what it describes as the Biden administration record shattering illegal immigration into the U.S. The administration further stated that it had launched a denaturalization surge targeting people who fraudulently obtained U.S. citizenship, adding that claims had been filed against 88 people who received citizenship but were allegedly ineligible. And that brings us to the end of the news at noon. In a special way, we want to really congratulate the CEO and MD of Kwararafa Television, High Chief Ezekiel Iremia Afukonyo. This is wishing you the very best, more fruitful years, good health of mind and body. Thank you for watching. Join us some other time. Bye.